Hey, my name's Clayton Bellamy, and you're at Popularity.
Are there nerves that set in prior to the release of a record?
Yeah, you know what, there is. I think, you always, because it's not just a widget. It's a piece of art for me. It's something that I made and that I created, and you want people to like it, right? So, of course, you're nervous, and what are people going to think, and are they going to like it? So, yeah, every time I put out a record, it's always a little nerve-wracking.
When you went back to listen to the songs on the album, did any of them surprise you in either a good or a bad way?
When it was all said and done, I had my reservations of the flow of the record. I always look at, I guess in an old-fashioned way, I look at an album as a piece of art again, as a work, and was concerned about how it was going to sound from top to bottom. But when my producer Ray was done with the record and done mastering it, it sounded so good, and just it sounds like a really complete journey from one point to the other, from beginning to end.
When you first went in to approach your album, did you ever feel unsure of the direction that you wanted to take the music in?
Absolutely. That was a long journey in itself. Just I started up recording, doing some songs that were a little more rock and roll, and trying to feel my way around the direction. And I got involved with. I just found. How should I put this? I found that the direction it was going was not really where my true heart lied. And I kind of went right back to square one with my roots and listening to my very first record that I recorded, my first solo record, and just how that sounded and what the songs were like, and really realizing that it all starts with a great song, and got back to my roots of the bands that I really love, like Bruce Springsteen and Steve Earle and Tom Petty, and then went back into the studio and recorded 12 more songs, and came out with this record.
What expectations do you have for yourself when you're creating music?
That's a good question. I think that, especially for me personally and the people that I'm involved with, working with people like Gary Nicholson and Ray Kennedy, who are Grammy Award-winning producers and songwriters, the bar is set really high for the song. And that, for me, the expectation is always to bring a great song, because that's where it begins and that's where it ends, for me. And so going in and just being able to take the listener on a real personal journey, having some, stories that are going to really touch the heart and get you excited and get you sad and take you on a real journey.
What do you find to be the most difficult part of the creative process for you?
These days, finding time. But I think the most difficult part is trying to get your vision from the paper, from the page to the CD, to translate, to make sure that you don't lose that emotion of you just playing and singing the song that you wrote, and being able to translate that and make sure that that emotion translates from a live, how you would do it live to putting it on tape.
After all this time in the industry, do you still feel that you're continually getting better?
Absolutely. Maybe I should leave that up to the fans to decide, but I feel like I always continuing to grow. The artist that I was, 6 years ago before the Road Hammers to now, and even in the last couple of years, has continued to evolve, and I feel like I've gotten better at my craft, songwriting, playing, and I continue to, and I'm always hungry to get better. I want to write with the best writers. I want to learn from the best, work with the best producers, so that I can continue to get better and be better at my craft.
Was there anything about the creation process this time around that you didn't particularly like and want to change next time?
Yes, the length of time. This was a lengthy record to make. It took a year. We made it in kind of pieces, bits and pieces as we went along. And the next record we're going to do and just go in 2 weeks and knock it out and have the record done in a month.
What artistic growth do you feel you experienced throughout the creation process?
I really feel like I found my voice again as a solo artist with this record. With the help of Gary and Ray Kennedy, really helped me to cultivate, get back to the heart of what I do best. I feel like I've found my groove again on this record.
What makes a good song?
I think what makes a good song is something that stimulates you emotionally, that hits you at your core, whether it's a sugary pop hit or it's a ballad, a story ballad. It has to move you on an emotional level, and that's really what it comes down to.
How did you, when you finally had a collection of songs that you were happy with, know that this was the album?
I think I knew I don't think I did know until I heard it all in its entirety, with all the songs in the order, and finished and mastered. When I slid the disc in and I listened to it with my headphones on, I knew that we had the record because it just sounded like a complete piece. And I always want, again, it may be a little old school in the days of singles and iTunes, but I want it to sound like a complete piece when you put it in, you're driving in your car. What kind of ride does it take you on? And when I listen to it, that's when I knew.
What emotions do you wish to evoke from your fans when they hear your music?
I hope excitement about this record, that I'm back doing, for my old fans, that I'm back doing Clayton Bellamy Band again, and for new fans that they'll discover something about, new that they never knew, I had to offer as a solo artist. So I hope that I can evoke excitement.
What is something that you never thought you'd pull off on the album, but did?
I would have to say the backwards guitar solo in the hidden track on the record.
And any final thoughts, anything you'd like to say to the readers of Popularity?
Just that, I hope that this record is really hits a nerve with the people, with country music fans and the lovers of real music. And because that's what I am.